Do you stream on a Roku, a Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app. Watch Action News live.
The big story on Action News tonight.
Plus special programming, breaking news, and severe weather updates.
Tremendous amounts of rain.
Always on. Always the news team you trust. Watch 6ABC 24/7 on your streaming device. Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Welcome to the lifestyle segment of Women to Watch. Today, I welcome Broadway and Bucks County executive producer, Robyn Goodman. Hey, Robyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so excited to tell everybody all about you and all the wonderful work that you've done. You had an incredible career.
Thank
Robyn, it's most impressive. She's not only an executive producer on Broadway and in New Hope at the Bucks County Playhouse, she has won 6 Emmy Awards and for One Life to Live, which was the first daytime gay storyline. She has also won 4 Tony Awards for Avenue Q, In the Heights, Angels in America, and most recently, Company. She's also been nominated for an additional 5 Tonys and multiple Drama Desk and other awards along the way, too many to list. Robyn, please tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got started in the entertainment industry.
Sure. I grew up, I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in New Jersey, West Orange, New Jersey, in a normal middle-class home. But my mother had always wanted to be an actress. She'd worked in radio. And so she brought me to the theater starting when I was 5 years old, to Shakespeare when I was 5 years old. And I don't know what I thought of it, but it obviously gave me the bug. And I wanted to be an actress. And so when I was in high school, I actually took classes in New York City at the Berghoff Studio and went to college to study theater and psychology at Brandeis University. And when I graduated, I came to New York after being at the Sharon Playhouse. I had a little money in my pocket, and I said, I'm going to be an actress. And I got a job in about 6 weeks. That was really lucky. For Lincoln Center, I played Antigone in a very interesting production that toured New York State. But I would say that, I acted for about 9 years, I guess, and then Carol Rothman, who now still runs the Second Stage Theater, came to me and asked if I would start a theater with her. And it was only because I had worked so much for Joseph Papp, who was the greatest producer at that time, running the Public Theater in New York, who had asked me to bring him projects. He thought I was a producer. God knows why, but he did. And the second bug got in my ear. And so when Carol asked me, I said yes. And we started the Second Stage Theater. And that's the beginning of my career.
A lot of fun and a lot of ground covered.
Yes.
Fast forward a little bit, you and producer Alexander Fraser assumed the leadership roles of producing director and executive producer in 2014 at the Bucks County Playhouse. So I want everyone to know about the amazing shows that you've made available right here in beautiful New Hope, Bucks County, at the Playhouse. A quick history about the building. It used to be a grist mill that was built in 1790. And a group of artists, it was supposed to be demolitioned, and a group of artists rallied to the community successfully and asked they wanted to rebuild it as a theater. And it opened as a theater in 1939. And it quickly became America's most famous summer theater and had legends like Helen Hayes, Jessica Tandy, Grace Kelly, Robert Redford, Angela Lansbury. I mean, the list is endless. It remained in operation until 2010. And the Bridge Street Foundation, which is a family foundation that is run and operated by Kevin and Sherry Doherty, renovated the theater and reopened in 2012. And you showed up in 2013-14. And now there's no reason to go to the city for a Tony Award-winning show or to see celebrities. Please tell us a little.
Sorry.
You've met so many wonderful people, and I don't want to miss out on anything. So please tell us a little bit about your favorite moments, most memorable moments in your career?
Well, starting at the Playhouse was a memorable moment. Alex asked me to be a consultant. It was his way to seduce me into doing more work. But mostly I've been producing on Broadway. Memorable moments, I produced a play, the last play that Robyn Williams was in, called Bengal Tiger at the Baghdad Zoo. But I guess the most wonderful memory I have is in 2004, winning the Tony Award for Avenue Q. And I told you a story about, it was so exciting. I was so happy my parents were still alive. And I remember walking to the press room and calling my dad at home, and he answered. He said, oh, I can't talk to you. The phone is ringing off the hook. And he hung up on me. So I knew it had an impact on them. I mean, they were so instrumental in me loving the theater. We went many times a year. And I went twice to plays so I could meet Julie Harris and Geraldine Page and all these people. I was a real stalker back then. But that was, I would say, the highlight. I mean, it's always fun to win a Tony. But the ones that was my first big commercial project. I mean, I had done a play or two before that. I'd done off-Broadway. I did Tick, Tick, Boom before Lin-Manuel made it a movie. And actually, he put us in the movie because we produced the original musical, which was a lot of fun. During COVID, it's the only money I earned. And the only fun I had, actually, was filming that little moment in Tick, Tick, Boom.
Oh, boy, COVID really hit everybody, and it's the theater industry. It was very, very sad. You started out as an actress in off-Broadway productions and on the popular soap opera Another World. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, well, my husband at the time was on the soap opera for a little bit. He was a theater actor and he did movies and television. And a part came up for a character's assistant who was just a mess. And when I read the script, he said, they're going to offer this to you. And I said, oh, this is a funny part on a soap opera. Who ever gets a funny part on a soap opera? So I took it, and he was this very serious doctor, and I was working for a man he was seeing as a patient, and John Randolph, I think was his name. And I just couldn't get anything right. Back then when telephones were ringing and, they didn't have the internet, and it was a lot of fun. I had fun. And so when I went to work at One Life to Live, I wanted to keep that humor going because, they're very serious stories on those soaps, but there's room for laughter. So I hope that I helped. We had a wonderful writer named Michael Malone who just passed away. He was a brilliant, he wrote books that won a lot of awards. He was a mystery writer, and I adored him, and he had a great sense of humor. So I was very lucky. And it was fun. It was fun. It's a nice way for young actors to start. A lot of them did.
Yeah.
A lot of them in there.
Well, and it sounds like your life as a producer was officially launched at some point with all of that. And then you got involved with the Second Stage Theater.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Second Stage and what's different about that.
Well, we decided at the time there were a lot of small theaters in New York, like over 200. And they were all doing new plays, and then the plays would get lost. They'd do them on this contract that was 12 performances. So Carol and I were trying to find a niche, and we thought, well, why don't we say we're going to reinvent those plays that are lost? I think our first statement was, people are ripping plays out of typewriters, if you can believe it, and putting them on the stage, and they're getting lost. And we want to reinvigorate them. So that's how we started. And then we started doing new plays. And I stayed for 13 years. It was very successful. We had a great critic at the New York Times at that point, Frank Rich. And he was our age, and he understood our sensibility, and he did very well by us. So we got a lot of attention. So that was very lucky. And then I left to make a living, to go to the soap opera. That is the trajectory. Okay. And when after 5 years, I thought, well, I have enough money to buy an apartment. Maybe I can go back to the theater. So, sometimes you take jobs for financial reasons. And I mean, that job turned out to teach me a great deal about storytelling and television. It was a wonderful job. but it wasn't my life's passion.
Yeah. And you won 6 Emmys.
Pardon me?
And you won 6 Emmys with the
Yes.
going television with the soap
It was
opera.
wonderful. It was wonderful. And I couldn't believe no one had told a story about anyone gay, and it was a beautiful story, actually, he wrote about this young boy in town who had to face scorn from the people around him. It was a really, really important story, I thought.
And then you founded Aged Wood Productions? Aged in Wood.
Yeah, I left the soap opera and I decided I wanted to be a commercial producer so I could make money. And if you really want to make money in the theater, you produce musicals. So I did sort of an apprentice time on 2 or 3 musicals. A musical called Bat Boy, Tick Tick Boom, Class Act. And then I went to this thing called the BMI workshop where young writers and composers get together. And I saw these guys singing 4 songs with puppets. If you were gay, everyone's a little bit racist. And I fell in love. And it took me a while because they didn't know me. I had to partner with well-known producers of Rent, etc. And we started developing it into a story with a writer and a team, a director, Jason Moore. Boy, it was, I always say, when you put a new musical together, you need a little fairy dust. And that team had that. It was a delight. And it was not like anything else, which is Malcolm Gladwell's Purple Cow, right? So if you want to be noticed in any business, find a purple cow. And it certainly was.
Avenue Q definitely was. Well, it sounds like you were very good at making people shine and bringing their ideas to fruition.
I've spent a lot of time developing things. I did it at the Roundabout Theater Company for 10 years as well. I love new work. I love emerging writers, and I love to help them realize their dreams and their plays and musicals. And I like to support, we women support people better than anybody. So because
that's very clear when you read your history and your timeline that you're very good at promoting other people and women and their talents. It's really great. You've done West Side Story, Avenue Q, and now that you're at the Bucks County Theater, you're bringing some great things there. And I know you have some great projects coming up. We're running close on time here, so if you can maybe give us a quick little recap on the projects coming up.
I'm doing the movie Working Girl as a musical with Cyndi Lauper and Teresa Rebeck. I have this wonderful new musical called Female Troubles by Amanda Green and the women who wrote Veep and Curtis Moore. It's hilarious and wonderful, and it's about women making choices. And I'm developing some things in London as well.
Well, that's exciting. Well, yeah. I'm sorry we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. This was a lot of fun, and I can't believe our time has gone by so quickly.
Thank you, Cheri. I didn't stop talking. That's right.
Yes, you did. I intervened quite a few times.
Thank you very much.
For more information about Robyn, go to agedinwood.com. You may also want to check out the Bucks County Playhouse website and see what's going on right now. Avita is the performance.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and coincidentally, I interviewed the woman who owns the Philadelphia Argentine Tango School last week. And this coming Sunday after the show, you can get a ticket for the show, a free tango lesson, food and wine, and enjoy yourself on the back deck. So thank you again. I hope you'll check out Bucks County Theater and keep living your dreams, ladies.
Celebrating 50 years with AccuWeather.
The heat is on. In 2010, Philadelphia had a record of 55 days at or over 90 degrees. And those scorchers, they're on the rise. In fact, 10 of the 15 hottest summers occurred in the last 2 decades. Thank you for always trusting us to keep you informed.
You're streaming and we're streaming. Get the AccuWeather forecast and severe storm alerts 24/7 on our 6 ABC streaming app.